Welcome into the Snapped Podcast, my personal audio journal. My name is Tyler Kluber. I'm a personal trainer and podcaster, but it gets a little bit deeper than that. And this show is going to give you an inside look on my thoughts concerning health and fitness, business, mindset, and creating the life that you feel lucky to live. I hope you enjoy the show. Sit back, relax, and let's have a day.
Yeah, buddy, we are back in town. And as you can hear in my voice, I sound like a man. I sound like a man today. I'm a real man. Got sick, and it's not COVID, baby. We're all good. It's not COVID. I've had COVID. But when you sit in here, we'll just get into it. As you know, anyone who listened last week, which by the way, I've met several people or been reached out to by several people who listen to this show on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. I'll tell you, I get about 100 people to listen to this show on a weekly basis. Those are the numbers, right? So it's not that many, but you throw 100 people in a room. It's like, oh, that's a decent little group. Right? Most people who would do a podcast to get 100 people, especially for one that I don't advertise for or like put out there, I never really tweet about it or anything. 100 people is a decent amount. And when I hear that the Snapped podcast is a favorite, it makes me happy, right? Because this is the most raw, usually unscripted sort of just, again, audio journal of my thoughts based on health, fitness, business, personal development, my training, my life, whatever. Right. So as you guys know from last week, I was set up for one hell of a weekend, and boy, did it come through. It was everything that I could have hoped it would be. I apologize for clearing my throat. I'm actually going to take a drink. Yep. That's delicious. I was set up to go to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game. That game went poorly for the Hawks. Fortunately, I am neither on the Hawks nor do I base my day, or does the Hawks performance have any bearing on my happiness or my mood or attitude. I've completely detached from it. And, I'm probably, in a sense, I'm probably not as much of a fan as most people, because I don't kind of ebb and flow with the way the Hawks play. It just is a result of a football game of a team that I once played for. I still feel very connected, but the result of those games does not change my mood or attitude or how my day goes, right? So when you detach emotionally from something, it can't affect you. Or I suppose if the Hawks win, it's great. And I don't maybe celebrate or feel as jubilated. Is that a fucking word? I don't know. But I also I'm still able to celebrate on the positive side, but if it's at all negative, I very much so just process it and move on. That was needed to be the case this weekend. They got slaughtered 42-3 in the Big Ten championship. Obviously, if you're a Washed Up Walk-Ons listener, we did a recap. And there's plenty out there to hear about why that happened. Not a super surprising result for me. I knew that was a possibility with the way that both teams have been playing, whatever. What was great about the weekend was just getting to go and experience the game, right? It was a fantastic 24 hours. Yeah, it was an incredible 30 hours, right? My wife and my two brothers, who Zach listens to this podcast, so shout out. We drove in on Friday, left early Friday morning at about 8:00, got to Indianapolis around 3:30, 4:00. Walked around, had a really nice dinner at Ruth Chris, some hot, just delicious steaks in prep for the big day. And we stayed right downtown, less than a mile from the stadium, right across from the convention center. And I had a big day in store because I talked about last week how randomly Sean Johnson and her husband, Andrew East, were going to be, they were going to be in town for the game. And because he is from there and she is from Iowa, so it kind of matched up, and they are influencers and celebrities, sort of popular people who have a YouTube channel, and those kind of events and weekends, especially when it's close to family where they can stay somewhere, provide them content. So they were in town and they did a CrossFit meetup at Andrew's brother, the hometown gym in Carmel, Indiana. And first of all, Carmel, Indiana is an absolutely elite city. That place is incredibly clean. Every building seems new. It's all like, it's like straight out of a Christmas movie. At least the part of the town that I saw, CrossFit gym right down there. And I was hoping to, obviously I was going to get to meet the three of them, Andrew and Sean, and then Noah Olson, who is a huge, big time CrossFit guy. One of the best over the last decade of the sport. Somebody that I've watched on YouTube and documentaries and ESPN and whatever it may be for the last 5 to 10 years. So like, he's a celebrity in CrossFit. Because of my background, I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people. So I am a little bit more desensitized to meeting quote unquote celebrities or famous people. It's not that I think I'm better than them or anything like that, but it's just with the life that I've lived over the past 7 years, being a part of Iowa, we got to go to a bunch of places. We had a bunch of people come into the facility and talk to us. It's just happened more in my life. So I'm just not the person who, when it happens, I'm super fanboy over anything, right? More than anything, I was really trying to like make a friend, make a connection. I feel like those are two people who, Noah and Andrew, I feel like those are two people that I could be bros with, and there's no reason that they would want to be bros with me, but like it literally could not have gone better. I showed up at the gym a little early. I was one of the first to walk in. In general, not as many people were signed up or there as I kind of thought there may be. So I was at the 8 o'clock class in the morning. So there was only like a few people who were, gym members from the area, and then like maybe 5 people from out of town. So I kind of hit it off with Andrew immediately. And we talked about long snapping because he's a former long snapper in the NFL and at Vanderbilt. We talked about the Hawks. We talked about all this cool shit. He introduced me to his brother, to all the coaches. It almost felt like I was the celebrity. Like it literally went as good as it could have fucking gone. I'm hanging out with Noah. We're talking about, I have a connection with Noah because Mallory O'Brien, who is the 7th fittest woman on earth, is a 17-year-old girl who goes to a gym right down the street from where I live. So he's trained with her before and knows her and her coach. So I'm like, yeah, I coached at that gym. And so he's talking to me about that kind of stuff. And for an entire hour, and then afterwards in kind of the meet and greet hour, we're just like hanging out, being friends. I got Andrew's number. It could not have gone better. And that was like a very stimulating morning for me. Workout specifically, I was like, oh boy, what are we going to do? Like, it was one of those situations where I'm very fit right now. I'm not as fit as Noah Olson is, but I'm probably in the top 1% of all CrossFit athletes. I will be competitive when the season rolls around here in 3 months. And it's, you're walking in and I'm thinking, oh, just like, hopefully we don't do a movement that crushes me. Like ring muscle ups is something that is probably my worst movement. Handstand walking I haven't done recently. So something I was hoping, and what do you know? We do the coach, who happened to be Andrew's brother, introduces the workout as, well, we're going to do something that Noah's really good at, right? Because we want to see, it's going to be scaled for everybody, but we want to see how really far away he is in difference of fitness and training level than everybody else. And so we're going to do a 20-minute AMRAP. First of all, 20 minutes is an eternity of 3 bar muscle ups. I'm okay at bar muscle ups. 6 handstand push-ups, pretty decent at handstand push-ups. 9 pistols. I can do pistols. I have great range, and I have good single leg strength. And 12 calorie row. Everybody can row. So I'm like, damn, this is actually a decent workout for me. Like, this is a good workout. And obviously a great workout for Noah as well. And it was really cool and then after that, we were going to build to a 1 rep heavy squat clean. And I mean, like, again, just, it could not have gone better. Right. They were all very impressed as I was into the workout that I was sort of keeping up with Noah. Now, granted, Noah beat me by 2 or 2.5 or 3 rounds in I think he finished 13 rounds. I finished like 10. So he was still clearly ahead of me, but, and again, not that it was a competition, something I had to remind myself in the middle of. I was like, you need to slow down or you're going to burn out. You're going to crash and burn if you keep trying to race. So I had tried to slow down, tried to calm the heart rate a little bit. But yeah, I stayed right with him, and all the coaches and everybody was kind of like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, we just got some random dude who can kind of like compete, like might actually be decent at CrossFit in general. Andrew was super surprised because he was probably thinking he'd be one of the fitter guys there. And I beat him by a round or so in the workout. So it was fantastic. And then we got to bro out and lift together, all on the same bar. Me, Andrew, and Noah build to a heavy 1 rep squat clean. And I built up to 305, probably could have hit 315, but I was a little toasted. And I'm super happy with that after a 20-minute workout where I was pretty beat up in my low back and my legs. Yeah, it was just incredible. Like, walked away feeling on top of the world, and it was only 10 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't even done 2 things that don't come around very often. One was the Washed Up Walk-Ons meetup. Now, we actually go back to the hotel. Kevin and Drake, they come in at about noon. We check them into their rooms, and then we went to lunch. Incredible to eat lunch with the boys and their women, the 6 of us. And then my family was at the restaurant as well. Got to have a nice little lunch, talk, catch up, talk about the day. And that was fantastic. Then we go to the meetup, the Wash Up Walk-Ons meetup, where for 2 hours people stood in line and waited to meet us, get autographs, take pictures. It was absolutely bonkers. And then it was just like one of the most rewarding experiences, one of the most humbling, gratitude inducing 2 to 3 hours of my life. I also did the pregame radio show from outside of the bar while we did all that. So just, again, more stimulation. I'm multitasking. We're selling t-shirts. We're all this shit. And then we hadn't even made it to the game yet. And I got to go inside Lucas Oil, a place that I played in 2015, and experienced heartbreak, but a place that is super special, especially for anybody who plays in the Big Ten, anybody who just enjoys going to pro football stadiums. It was my first time as a fan inside of there, and it was an awesome experience. Even though the Hawks got demolished, an awesome experience. And just, woke up at about 6:30 to leave the hotel and get to the workout by 8. And 6:30 all the way till midnight, which is about the time we walked back into the hotel room. It was just the most stimulating day of my life. Like, that and my wedding day are probably 2 of the craziest front to back days where it's just nonstop go, 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 go. And man, it was fucking awesome. It took me a full 2 days to recover. I think what you're hearing in my voice, this sickness, is part of that. All the hands we shook, all the people that gave us hugs and took pictures with us, and meeting all those people. I don't get out much. I sit here at this computer and this microphone, and this is where I do my work. So I'm not exposed to germs on a basis that I would prefer to be. Sounds weird, but I would actually like to be exposed to more shit. I need to go outside and like be with people more so that I can kind of continue to maintain that immunity. I generally have a very, very good immunity, which is probably why I'm fighting whatever this head cold that I have off pretty quickly. High dose vitamin C. Took a little Benadryl, drowsy Benadryl, some type thing last night to sleep, and that helped a lot. Lots of water, the whole 9 yards. But the weekend was just simply amazing. It was simply amazing. And kind of what I talked about last week, where I was super grateful just for the opportunity to have this happen. I'm even more so now, and I'm just on top of the world. I am busy as of late. We're doing a lot of work programming. Next week we're going to talk about what my training looked like as we go into phase 3 of my personal CrossFit season plan. Phase 3 started this week, and the main highlight of phase 3 was we moved to 2 sessions a day. So next week we'll talk more about what that looks like and where the training is at. But yeah, man, as far as this weekend, it was fantastic. And as far as the fitness goes, it was really cool to see, in a domain that I'm generally not very good at. Like, I don't practice muscle ups often, right? I don't practice pistols ever. I do handstand push-ups occasionally, and rowing is, fine. You put those 3 movements that aren't necessarily like wheelhouse for me or anything in a 20-minute AMRAP, and like I was able to compete and hold on and actually put out a pretty damn good score on that workout. And it makes me feel good about the work I put in. It's crazy to think back to when I got COVID, August 12th or 14th, I believe. That's not even, as I do this podcast, not even 4 months ago. And while there are still some lingering effects of the COVID, mainly, 90% my smell still not being totally back, my fitness is at an all-time level, not even 6 months post having COVID, right? So pretty awesome for my body, and just, sort of a reminder or a nice little confirmation that the work that I put in is paying off. It's nice. It's great to see your fitness pay off and you be able to withhold a workout. I did that workout on Saturday on an empty stomach too, just like cold, fasted. It was crazy. And a few more topics came out of that day that I want to split into separate podcasts. But yeah, the fitness is crazy, and I'm as fit as I've ever been. I feel the body hurts day in and day out just because of what you're putting it through. But at the same time, I feel so capable of doing so many things, which is what CrossFit sort of gives you the ability. Aesthetically, I don't think I've ever looked as good as I look right now, all things considered. And so life is going good, man. I just got to bounce this head cold that you can hear in my voice. I sound like Darth Vader, but appreciate you guys tuning in. Listen to a little recap of the weekend. Again, next week, we're going to get into this phase 3, 2 sessions a week. What does my training look like? We are 2.5 months. I believe the open starts on February 24th. I'm going to check that real quick. It's a Thursday. Is the 24th of Feb. Yes, February 24th. So today is a Wednesday, the 8th. Tomorrow is the 9th, a Thursday. From tomorrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks out. We are 11 weeks away from the open starting, and I'm very, very excited for it. So you guys are going to be here along with me on the ride as we sort of go through the open and whatever comes after. And I'm glad you're here. Hopefully this was entertaining. Hopefully you grabbed something from it, or you at least were able to spend some time and listen to me as you did the dishes or something. I don't know. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back next week to talk more fitness, and have an absolutely fantastic day and a week.